What's good, everybody? This is another episode of the established 1982 podcast, the geek culture podcast hosted by responsibly irresponsible adults that have loved video games, comic books, movies, and TV ever since 1982. That was Vin Diesel, man. That is
the movies.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is one gatekeeper of civility and order, Rolls Royce.
Not doing a good job of it.
It's all good. I'll never get tired of that. It's hilarious. And I am Wally Analog, the old curmudgeon, the lawnsman, the resident hater nowadays. It's not much that I like anymore. I don't know if that's a problem with me personally, or am I guess warranted in my ire towards a lot of these geek culture properties. One of which we will talk about today in the
There's
form
therapists out there.
One of which we will talk about in the form of Netflix Masters of the Universe, a reboot of a cartoon series, Masters of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe from the 80s that we all, many of us, I won't say all, but many of us come to know and love. It's early 80s. And upon learning that they were getting ready to do this, I guess the showrunner and writer, Kevin Smith, was doing a media blitz quite often on his excitement to be tasked with the responsibility of coming up with the reboot and doing this, doing this show. Very excited about stuff. This trailer had come out and we saw it and we were very excited. Come on with the He-Man. Come on with the He-Man. So then we're going to discuss that today because it is a hot topic of discussion in the geek culture community. One of the hottest in the community, and not just in the in the blurred community. In the over this show was near and dear to many of the old geeks here, the Gen X geek. Very, very near and dear. So we're gonna go over some of the things we just about everybody in our little clique has watched it, including us all, obviously. So before we get started, what are your initial reactions before we start talking about I guess the technical parts of it and the more analytical aspects of it? What were Mr. 1%, your initial reactions to Masters of the Universe Revelation? Excuse me.
Yes,
you got to put that on the end.
Right. Masters
of the Universe Revelation.
Being a motion designer, like I love the open where they use the illustrations from the He-Man, the action figures, like the painted, I guess it's like Hillebrand kind of like painting. I love that. I love the animation. I think it's by Powerhouse.
It's
the studio's Powerhouse.
Castlevania folks, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, and Castlevania,
like
that animation is dope. Yeah. Love the animation on it. The story, I like the story so far. Yeah. I like the story so far. I like some of the twists and turns in it. Some of the, I don't know if this was intentional. Some of the dialogue was, there would be some points where it got corny, but I think that was meant to be in there, like to get a laugh or a rise out of you, like, okay, that was a corny line that this guy said. But the thing is, you got to think about it. The characters were corny in the first place.
That's correct.
Like Clawful and
Mecha Nick
and Stinkor and Ram Man. He-Man is even corny.
Yeah, that's corny. Yeah, right. And that's something we will get into.
Tila.
Because a lot of only Tilas we knew were from Memphis on the tracks and hip hop tracks.
Right.
We won't go into any of the songs in particular.
Yes.
But yes,
it's a family show.
Yes, it is. But we'll get into the whole corniness of it because that's actually one of the things we want to highlight and just perform a juxtaposition between this series and what we had come to grow, know and love. But my initial reactions, a lot of them were actually the same. I like that animation style. I like that house. That I enjoy the stuff that comes out of that camp. The story, for the most part, is pretty good, especially when compared to some of the stories in a lot of feature films. It's like, man, when an animated production could come with better stories,
Right. That's usually the case nowadays for some reason.
Yeah.
A lot of the DC animated movies are excellent.
Yeah.
And it's like, why aren't those people working on the live action?
That's a topic for another podcast. So make a note of that. Check that off. Stick a pin in that one.
Right.
So yeah, I like the animation. Now you were, well, I never really did get what you thought about the whole series in general, because my initial reaction, as you said, was the same as yours, but I was still, even after that being said, disappointed for a lot of the same reasons that many of those probably listening and those not listening but just out in the geek community didn't like it. So we'll get into that, but
so you were asking me about
are you ready? Did you enjoy it enough to where season 2? I'm ready. I'm ready to see.
Part 2.
How this play? Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, right. They broke it up. Right. It's all in a can.
I guess it's 3 parts. I believe.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
15 then.
I think so.
Yeah, because this first part was 5.
Right.
In case you didn't know.
I have a feeling.
Spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, because we're gonna spoil it to a degree. Well,
correct.
We're gonna spoil it really badly.
Right.
He has to analyze it properly. So yeah, but yeah, I was upset. I was very upset. And we'll get into why. You know what? Let's just okay.
Why were you upset? Why?
Okay, so here's the thing.
Speak to the therapist.
Why
are you so mad?
Is that right? Why are you mad, bro? Are you mad, bro? Why am I mad?
If you can only do the mad rapper voice.
Cue mad rapper.
Son, tell him why you mad, son. Tell him why you mad, son.
Here's the thing, man. Kevin Smith, I feel like he may have legitimately been excited about heading up this project, being responsible for the reboot of something that is dear to a lot of people.
Right.
But I believe there was a bit of dishonesty in there. In terms of what he led us all to believe we were going to get. Now,
in what way?
Now, okay, and let the spoilers begin. Episode 1, the He-Man don't even make it. He's dead. So when that happened at episode 1, I stopped. I turned it off.
Why?
Because I want to see a He-Man show.
That didn't prompt you to go, I need to see, okay, wait a minute, did this dude die for real? Or
well, okay, here's the thing, man. I'm trying to figure out how you going to explain this. You know, I have very short patience.
Yes.
And so that is why I called you, sir. No, you called me, right? Is that what it was? You called me. I can't even remember. We spoke.
You called me.
Okay. Yes, that's what it was. I was like, hey, bruh, what are they doing? You need to go home and watch this. Too sweet.
Right.
Go home immediately and watch this. And then you said, I've already seen. What do you say? First episode, second. You up to 2 at that point.
That's right. I reminded you that Masters of the Universe Revelation came out.
Yes.
And I had already.
Yes.
I was already like 3 episodes in.
And so I said, man, so you saw the first episode?
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, yeah. I'm like, man, dude, they killed He-Man, bro. Like, what is that?
And I said, keep watching.
And I was like, bruh. And you gave me the sage advice. You was like, man, you know, I know you're upset. I laid out all the reasons why. I mean, and the main one being, bro, you can't kill He-Man, bro. You can't. No, you can't.
Why not?
No, you can't. Not if you sold He-Man to us in them trailers. And we went back and reviewed the trailers. It's He-Man heavy, bro. Basically, it was an expose of episode 1 before his death. so,
yeah, I guess.
Yep.
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
But if you,
yeah. See, here's the thing, man.
If you were,
here's the thing. When you were a child,
right,
and this show was on,
yes.
When school got out, you said, what did you say, man? I'm about to go home and watch this
He-Man.
That's correct.
Because the name of the show was He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
It didn't even have to be He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It could have been called Masters of the Universe. And you would have been going home to watch He-Man. Because there was not one single episode where he didn't hoist that power sword in the air and scream, I have the power. There was not one episode where he did not do that. The show was that would be like giving me Thundercats and killing off Lion-O and putting Tiger in charge. It is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Now, it's not unacceptable if by some reason you decided to be wise and call it Masters of the Universe : Tila. Yes, and this was something that was highlighted to me by one of our friends of the show, Marthius Wade. He felt like if they wanted to do that, and I agree, if they wanted to do that, make it an anthology, bro. You see, you made it. I
disagree,
bro. He made everybody think this was a He-Man show. Now, man, come on now.
Well, okay. Come on so
now.
So separate yourself from the show, right?
Okay.
If you're a writer,
and
we'll talk about this because you're a proponent of story over action.
I am.
Remember that you said that.
Okay.
All right. So if you're a writer and Netflix approaches you and says, "Hey, Wally, we want you to write, or we want you to create a new Masters of the Universe series."
Okay.
Right. The goal is we want to sell not only the He-Man toy, but all the other ancillary toys that are with it.
That's correct.
Cringer, Battle Cat.
That's correct.
Tila, Castle Grayskull,
everything.
Set, all that stuff, right?
Man at Arms. Yeah.
Man at Arms, all of it. All of it, right? Knowing that this show has a history where He-Man was the dude,
there's no, this show is pointless back in the day,
right?
Without him,
right. Now that's the '80s, right?
That's correct.
So in the '80s, it was like everything was singular. It was just about that show. There wasn't a lot of universe building.
No,
we're in an environment now. In this age, we're in an environment now where everything has to be universe built. Doesn't have to be, and that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, that's the new business model.
Correct.
That people feel as if you have to follow.
Right, because it's the gift that if it's done well, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
That's correct.
Yeah, Marvel has broken. They have set that formula up. Yeah, and people are trying to. I really feel like people are just trying to model after that. Like G.I. Joe, Hasbro's trying to do it.
Right.
All those. So you're tasked with that, right? So do you center your show around He-Man?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I need him to be on.
But you want to expand.
Yeah, you can. But you can do that. Because, and here's the approach I would have done. Now we watching Tila and what's the girl's name? I forget her. Andra. Her cohort, right? Her I guess sidekick for the most part.
Yes.
Doing their thing. Now, I don't see why you can't write it in such a way where you have multiple tasks in trying to restore the magic of Eternia. So you might have a team over here that comprises, that's composed of, Man at Arms and whoever, and then you might have another that's comprised of Andra and Tila, and then He-Man doing the things that only He-Man can do in another capacity. And then now, if you wanna off that dude at the end, for shock value or whatever, fine. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, but I think what I'm responding to is your comment about, well, they should have made it what I disagree with Marthius on is if they put out Masters of the Universe : Tila,
nobody will watch.
Correct. You just proved that. It needs to be about He-Man. So if it's Masters of the Universe Tila, but and they showing He-Man in it, you're not gonna watch you.
But on one hand, that's still honest. My man was dishonest. Yes, dude.
They took He-Man off.
I know that. But see, they knew in their minds that we are gonna. Come on, man. You didn't come to the table expecting He-Man. Come on, dude. Yes, you did.
No, I did.
Okay,
and that's the thing. And they delivered that first episode.
Yeah, man. No, dude. It got to be throughout. You can't kill him.
But it's not over. That's what I'm saying. It's just part one.
Yeah, I know.
So you don't even know how this story is going to develop.
I
know, have
but
to
you
be
gave
patient.
me 5 episodes, and 2 of which where he got offed. You killed him twice. Come on, man. What are we doing? And the anthology, in my mind, works.
Well, they didn't kill him twice. I mean, he hadn't technically died in the last episode.
So why can't you give me?
It's a cliffhanger.
Why can't you give me He-Man, right? And still the anthology that we spoke of afterwards, so people can be interested in all that other stuff. Why? I am on board 100% with everybody that sat down thinking that they were going to watch He-Man and didn't see it, because I was disgusted. Like I'm telling you, I watched with my arms folded after you suggested I watch it, because I was like, yeah, you're right. Let me finish it.
Right.
Let me get to the end. And I had even heard from some people that, in the end, it'll bring it all back together and you won't be as bad. And to those, I responded, I hated it more. Because you can't kill him twice, bro.
They didn't kill him twice.
They didn't kill Adam twice.
They didn't kill Adam twice.
Adam didn't die twice.
He didn't die. At the end of this part one,
bro, he got shanked Oz style.
He did.
Skeletor ran through him with the blade, bro, and walked off.
How many characters have you seen?
I understand.
Skeletor got gutted, and he's back. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But even at least they explained that he was more gangster. It's like, yeah, I put my essence in this staff. I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. Came out of that thing, Harlem shaking.
And that was dope.
Man, listen. At least Skeletor is still in the building. He's in play. And they still, and even Evelyn was more interesting than Teela was. Evelyn was much more interesting to me than Teela.
Okay, so paint me if
I've already told you how I'll do it. He-Man would be all the way through that thing.
Okay, so if He-Man's all the way through it, how do you tell that story?
Well, see, the reason they took He-Man off the board, I'm thinking, is so they could do this whole assemble the sword thing, right?
Maybe. I don't know. It's too early, man.
Well, I'm saying, I don't know, man. I just didn't.
I'm not
like
quick. And again, I know you're talking
like a He-Man-less He-Man.
I know
show.
you're talking to me, and I'm more like, and I get I sympathize with what you're saying to a point.
right.
Like when they killed He-Man, I was like, oh snap! Wow, they killed that dude in the first episode.
Yeah.
So I was like, I gotta watch episode. That made me watch episode 2 even faster, because I was like, wait a minute, they can't kill He-Man off.
Well, see, here's the thing.
That was my response.
Here's the thing. Like, you're right. You want to kind of see, but then Netflix makes the mistake of telling you what every episode is going to be about when you look at the episode.
Well, see, I don't do that either.
Oh, you don't look at that?
No, I just watched it. Like
I always look. And I'm
it's like watching the trailers.
Teela's doing this. Okay, now Teela and the group are doing this. And then next episode, Teela and the group are doing this.
And while you're doing
that, I'm thinking, what? Teela and who?
And what was my response to you when I said,
just watch it?
Correct.
And I did.
Yes.
And it was exactly what I didn't want to see. And they sprinkled. See, and they think they slick. They put little flashbacks of He-Man.
What do you want, though?
I
Seriously.
want He-Man. That's what I want. So you want.
Okay, so here's
corny name and all.
Okay, I don't mind. I don't mind the corny names, because that's what the first show was about, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I will say this. Watching this show made me think back to all the shows I watched as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I even circled back. I have a young son,
yes.
and we started watching. I'm going to bring Thundercats in the picture.
Oh, yes.
Right? It's related. Yeah. It's related.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I decided, well, let's watch the Thundercats that came out around 2010.
11,
right?
yeah.
2011.
That was actually pretty decent.
And it was decent.
That's pretty decent.
Right. And they took some liberties with some things.
They didn't kill Lionel, though.
Okay.
See, but
they also did not have him do the rally call every freaking episode.
And they shouldn't, though.
Right.
That's fine, but he's present is all I'm saying. Like, you can't do Thundercats without line.
Right.
Try that and see what happens.
Right. And then the ultimate point I'm trying to make is, I said, okay, well, we watched this Thundercats, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want to show you what Dad watched back in the day.
Yeah.
And you know, when they showed the first episode, it was like 8:00 at night, and I stayed up to watch the first premiere episode.
Right.
And they showed the Japanese animation, and you like, wow, and you know, he's cocking back and you know, doing the Thundercats ho and you know, all that stuff. Greatness, right?
The intro still.
But when you watch the intro is timeless. It's the best thing ever, right? Some of the best Japanese animation I've seen. It I mean, even for back then. So the point I'm trying to make is, man, boy, you start watching them episodes.
It's bad.
It's terrible.
It's bad. It doesn't even make sense. How, you know, the pilgrimage from Thundera and all, none of it makes sense.
Correct.
He aged and other people didn't. And it's just nuts. It was just nuts. It didn't make sense. Now, to your point,
and every episode he had to do a rally call. He was always like,
that's right.
It's the equivalent of Superman getting kryptonite every episode, and then he has to do the rallying call to bring the other Thundercats in to save him from stuff, right?
Right.
So
because it wasn't a serialized show, right? So it's they're all standalone kind of episodes for the most part, except for those episodes where Lionel was going through those trials to earn his title as Lord of the Thundercats or whatever. And so they did at that point. But for the most part, it was like, okay, this episode.
And you referring to the 2011 series?
No, the old joint. The old joint.
Right.
The 2011 was serialized.
Right.
That was progression. Yes. And yes, that stuff was corny. A lot of it was silly and aimed at children. So.
Which was us.
Yes, us.
Okay.
Right.
Now we're grown men.
Right. So now as a grown man, right, if you're going to reboot something, I guess now my question is, how realistic is it for me, or realistic or feasible, or whatever you want to say, is it for me to expect a reboot of a cartoon to be matured to the point where now I appreciate it as an adult? Is that realistic? Should I expect for it to still be just geared at children?
Yes.
So I should never expect for them to like grow that thing up to where it's entertaining.
Depends on the property, right? So
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I think
because it's a reboot, its original target was that it's not like Castlevania and it's new and they running through folks with swords and stuff like that. Rated R. It's like it was never a child's cartoon. It was never a cartoon, but something like this, like I shouldn't expect for them to ever reboot Turtles and it turn into the old black and white we killing folk, right? Like
it could though. It could,
but it won't sell toys.
Right.
Right.
You got to think about the machine behind it,
and that's what I'm saying.
At the end of every episode, that Mattel logo is showing. They letting you know what the deal is.
Yeah,
Mattel.
Money
Christmas
over everything.
Right. Correct. Right. So I want to be careful what I say here. I think as adults, we can, if we have an open mind, I think we can enjoy the show. And again, this is not me trying to convert people to enjoy the show. You have the right to your opinion. But I think sometimes in geek culture, we have the ability to just take the kid that we were back then, bring it. We've matured and grown, and we expect that the world is going to cater to us today. Okay. And the thing is, like, they're going after my kids. My kids don't know anything about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Perfect point then. So
when they watching this show, it doesn't matter if He-Man got killed.
Okay.
It might be even dope to them, like, wow, that dude's dope. They killed him. Man, I would love to see more He-Man.
So why not just come out and say that this isn't a He-Man show? Instead of fooling the old cats like myself into thinking it's about to be a He-Man show. Just be honest. You know what I'm saying? If what you're saying is true, it's not feasible for me to believe that they're doing this for me, which I know they're not.
We live in a world.
Then go ahead and just keep it real.
We live in a world, like, and I'm going to acknowledge.
Just keep it real. If it ain't for me.
I'm keeping it, okay, so I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to acknowledge, and I agree with you, that when they wrote this story, they knew what they were doing when they killed him. Yeah. They were like, this is going to be a play there's going to be folks that's going to hate us for it. But I guarantee it was a methodical decision. They didn't just go, we're just going to kill He-Man off.
Certainly not.
I'm pretty sure they pondered.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
And again, we don't know how the story is going to resolve. The story might resolve, and it might be the dopest thing ever. I'm not prophesying that.
All you got to do is say He-Man is not the...
You don't, because you get what I'm saying? You brought all of us to the table. You showed us that, I want to be a hero, and they flashed He-Man, all that stuff. They got you to the trough. You drank the water.
You show, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You show right about that.
And
run into the trough.
Right. If I didn't talk you down from the ledge, you probably wouldn't have watched the rest of the episode. But you were probably one of one, Wally Analog. But I guarantee you, the folks that were shocked that He-Man got killed, they watched to see, well, wait a minute, what you do with my man He-Man?
And they was mad at the end of it, too.
Okay. Well,
because they rolled on a strong 35% on Rotten Tomatoes, up from 25.
Those same cats that are giving it a 35, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna watch part 2 and part 3. Like let's just say
that. I think they're gonna be mad and hoping. Yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to say like a show can't be bad, or if there's a majority of people that just hate something because of one thing that I'm not trying to say that it's not bad. I'm just saying like it was a calculated move, and I just think sometimes we just have to give them a chance to tell the story, because I guess we've had this. I mean, one of our latest episodes was story versus action.
Yeah,
you're a proponent of story, right?
Yeah.
He-Man being in the picture, just
you think that would have hurt the story?
He would have to do "I have the power" every single episode.
Why can't you do it once at the start and then throughout the episodes?
He's just there
in that form.
Right.
No one's telling him he got to revert back to skinny Adam. Just stay He-Man.
Then you got people going, well, they're gonna be hating that. You know what I'm saying? Like
they hated less than they hated this. No He-Man. None. Like none. I don't know, man. Like I said, I understand where people are coming from in their dissatisfaction, but at the same time, to your point, I understand that they're trying to sell toys.
Well, and that's part of it, but right. I think also too, like, I don't want to reduce it to that, but
it has a heavy,
but my thing is like, I'm thinking about like, okay, so I'm thinking about Star Wars, like to put out a might be a bad example, but putting out a Solo movie, they're not really trying to sell toys to the Solo movie, right?
Well, yeah, that's just, you don't have to do anything but say Star Wars.
They weren't selling Rogue One toys, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But I think they were trying to say, okay, there's a universe that we're tapping into, outside. And I see the play here. That they're just calling it, hey, this is a Masters of the Universe. Now, yes, I do agree with you. The story is centering around Teela.
Yeah, it's all
heavy.
Teela.
Right.
And
it was a flip. Like, it was like,
yeah.
And even from the start, it was about Teela. Like,
right.
At the first episode, because
you're about to be, the new woman in art.
You're watching her character arc. And it appears that, like, when we get to part 2, you're going to see more of her character arc. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind that. I don't mind. I guess maybe people will come into the table going, well, I want to see He-Man's character arc. And who's not to say that they won't?
Yeah.
I think we're getting glimpses of the lore of He-Man, especially when they got to the episode where we were showing previous He-Man. Mm-hmm. Like I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Right.
That was cool.
Even the fact that, like, Grayskull was named after a dude named Grayskull.
Yeah.
I mean, which was a black dude.
Yeah, a black dude.
It's like, that's dope to me.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't see that. Like, I know some people might be in their feelings and go, well, that's pandering to the African American. And I don't think it is.
A lot of people, I mean, there's a number of people that would, a group, of people that would probably say that. Even down to, Andra.
Yes.
and the fact that it was centered around two women. You know, there's a fine line. Like, where's that line between legit representation and, like you say, pandering? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's a gray area.
It is a gray area.
So you don't want to ever point fingers.
Yeah,
Teela existed, so it ain't like they just created this character. Some would argue that, well, why did you center it around Man at Arms or whatever? But I didn't mind,
which is a
that
dude.
Teela, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But see, that's the thing too.
I didn't mind that Teela was, you know, tough and doing her thing. I don't care about that. I was just like, my thing again was like, I don't care who you center it around if it ain't Adam. I'm just like, well, you know. And then there's the issue where there are, you know, there's documented instances where Kevin Smith vehemently denied that this show was centered around Teela in black and white. Like on Twitter, it's like, this ain't about Teela. It's not about Teela. It's not a Teela show, because reviewers had already seen it and had done their, you know, critiques and whatever, and they would ask him about it, and he'd be like, no, absolutely not. This is a He-Man show. Like, no, it's not, bro. No, it's not. See, at that point, to your point, you don't want to advertise that this isn't a He-Man show, but when you're prompted like that, how do you handle that?
Well, you roll it out like they did. You put it out.
Well, when they ask, and I mean,
when they ask after they put it out.
Well,
did they ask before, or did they put it? They ask after.
This was before.
Okay.
And I guess at that point you don't really want to give anybody an inkling, because at this point these are only privileged, you know, workers in the industry, you know, people in the community that have access to this stuff,
right?
And you know, nothing's stopping them from putting that stuff out. Unfortunately, it's a new age; stuff gets out, and so he's questioned about it, and he's like, "No. Well, you're lying, sir, because you know
how."
Because he said, he's like, this is not centered around Teela, when it absolutely is. It absolutely is.
How do you know? I'm not understanding.
The first five, they're talking
that's
about.
The first 5 episodes.
But they're talking about, but that's what they're talking about.
There's 10 more episodes.
But they're asking him about the shows that they just watched. That's what they're asking him. They're not asking about the potential show. They're asking him about.
But to him, he has completed all 15 episodes.
So in his mind, he's answering
the question
from a different perspective. So he's kind of.
You guys calm down.
That's what. Okay, so that
calm down.
So
like that was his way of saying calm down. He-Man is coming back. Like, you think? I don't. It would be a bold play if Prince Adam just completely dies, because they said when this dude left heaven, that was a part of the show. Yeah, they had to go.
It's a one-way trip.
They had to go to hell and heaven just to get the two power swords
together. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. Everybody is. If you're listening to this episode,
I've already won.
Right. So, no, I'm just saying it so we don't have to rehash plot by scene by scene.
Right.
But they go through heaven and hell to get these two swords right, and they find that Prince Adam is in heaven and
chilling.
Right, and that was a plot point. Gray Skull said, "I don't want." He was like, "Why didn't you go back? You have this portal that goes back." He says, "That's unnatural, boy."
Yeah, he's like, why would you want to leave here?
Right.
You know, Adam wants to go help figure out what's going on with Eternia and their magic. He warns him. He's like, "Bruh, if you go, that's a one-way trip. You can't come back."
Right.
So that is interesting in and of itself.
Correct.
He gets off at the end. So where does he go? Like, we don't know.
He didn't die. They didn't show him die, man. Like,
he got ran through.
I understand.
With a sword.
Yeah, in the gut. How many people have got
through?
Not through the heart.
Bruh, that's a serious wound.
Duke got a serpentor serpent through the chest.
Who?
From G.I. Joe.
Oh.
When they had G.I. Joe. Did you ever watch G.I. Joe?
Oh, yeah. It's cartoons, man. So, like, that was your point you're making? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, okay.
Prince Adam. Okay. He-Man dies in the first episode.
Yeah.
and they somehow managed to bring him back. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I'm saying. So like, come on, man.
The power sword would never mortally wound its chosen savior, and he will rise again.
Right.
Get ready.
So like, I guess I think the point I'm trying to make, and again, I don't want you to think that I'm saying this about you,
man. No,
but like, I think there's an acknowledgement that, and it's unspoken, I think there's an acknowledgement that when we were growing up, just being boys, there was a lot of cartoons geared toward us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And even in those cartoons that were male driven, they had female characters, but the female characters were just kind of like
they were the Chitaras of the world.
carrying water for He-Man, and like Prince Adam, like
Chitara was just
right. But there were
the female Silverhawk.
Yeah, and I was watching. I mean, this is related but unrelated. But I was watching like this documentary. It was actually on Disney Plus, like 616, where they were talking about the comic book industry, and they were talking about how comics were just geared toward men, to boys, right?
That's right.
Okay, and then these boys grow up to be men. The girls were starved. They loved those comic books, but they were still starved for
content that included characters like them.
Imagine how we felt like when we
talk
look
about
back,
it all the time.
When we talk about
Black Panther.
When we talk about like representation and characters.
Yeah.
I see some of this playing in this a little bit, where it's like, I think it's refreshing that they are taking a different take and going, okay, let's just even the playing field. Yes. He-Man's dope. We're not. They made that apparent. Like, he raises a sword. He's the dopest dude ever. Mm-hmm. Flash, Cringer, and he's Battle Cat. Mm-hmm. Like, you still get the same stuff. You got him back then. Like, we're just focusing in on some other masters of the universe, right? So that's the way I'm interpreting it. And I think it's okay. I'm learning to be more. And this is just, I don't know if it's just me just being aware of representation. It's like, okay, if I'm starved for stuff, or now I'm like even doing this podcast thinking about how we as African Americans are represented in media, imagine what like a woman is thinking that's in our same position. Like, they're probably seeing this and going, man, this is the dopest thing ever. Like, y'all are actually speaking to me. And speaking to my daughter.
If they're millennials, they certainly are, because they have no recollection of He-Man like that, right?
Well, it's a new story for them. So it's like, when you think about these reboots, you have to kind of separate yourself from the kid back then. And I'm saying that carefully, because sometimes you can reboot something that just don't work. Like, they've tried to do it with Superman.
Yeah,
when they did Superman Returns, I was heated.
That Turtles reboot was trash. They made Raphael the leader. It's kind of weird.
You mean the animated cartoon? Right. Anyway, not trying to get sidetracked on that, but off of other properties. But with He-Man, I think with Masters of the Universe.
See?
Right. But see, the thing is, we've been conditioned to just have a male point, like the hero's male.
Yeah.
Like, think about all the cartoons we've had.
Yeah, I mean, all of them.
Right. Right, like even the Transformers, like the new Transformers Netflix series, like was it RC? RC, I think. The pink, yeah, she plays a major role in the new cartoons. But they still talk about Optimus Prime and stuff like that. So I think my take is, give it a chance. Like, let the story play out before, like, all this criticism.
Hot grits on
it. We're so reactionary, man. And geek culture is very reactionary.
I'm trying to tell you, and I'm guilty. I'm guilty.
Right. And when you look at the teaser trailers and the trailer, especially the official trailer, the official trailer is kind of like, it's Tila heavy. They're not lying to you.
Man, I don't know that, man. That first one was...
The first one...
That thing was He-Man throughout.
The teaser, the first one.
They basically gave you episode 1 in that trailer, man.
Well, they had to because that's the only time he did any action. So,
right.
So if you're giving a trailer for part 1 teaser, that's the only footage you got.
What they were doing,
right?
Shady. But I agree. Listen. This is not to say that I'm not agreeing with what you're saying, because I admit it. I like the story. I do like it. I was just saddened that I didn't get to see my man putting in the work. Even Man at Arms put in so much work, dude. Like,
when did Man at Arms put in work in the other series?
Never.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
the work.
I love that. I was like, man, this is how Man at Arms should be.
Yeah, because we never really knew why he was Man at Arms for real. You know what I'm saying? He just put the little hat on and he just
kind of punched something. Right. You know, and it's like, no, this dude.
Yeah, he earned that.
Yeah, like he created Roboto.
That work. Yeah, and see, man, I like that. I enjoyed Robato's character. I was hurt when they killed Orko because his backstory was good. It was a brilliantly written short, you know, in that was revealed in an exchange between Orko and Lynn. Loved that. And we got to understand why he was and who he was and where his name originated from. That was brilliant.
Right.
And they killed him. It's like, man, the character that I was interested in a lot, you know, they killed him off. I don't know. Maybe he'll be in Preternia. Well, no, they buried him in Preternia. Well, they put a plot down. He died in the other Subternia.
Yes.
Which is weird.
Right.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll bring him back. But I had no problem with the story.
He might be stuck in.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm hoping they bring him back. Because he put in work at right before his death. So no, the story, no problems with. No problems with. I just felt like I was lied to a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and to your point, I don't know how you can be, I guess, forthcoming about what is to be,
right. The way they're rolling it out, they can't tell you, hey, watch this show. We're gonna kill He-Man in the first episode.
No, not that. But I'm saying, can you say this isn't? I guess you can't, man. I guess you can't say this is not as centered around He-Man as much as the 80s show was. Because even the reboot from 2002, which is pretty decent.
I never watched that one. Where can you find that? Is it on Netflix?
I had to go out on YouTube and watch the first 3 episodes of that.
Right.
Quality ain't great, but it's cool how they do it. It's actually pretty well done how they do it. It's a He-Man origin story kind of. The first episode, first 3 of them, pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know. Because you're right, man. You can't come out and say, man, this is not a He-Man show to people who want to see He-Man. But again, on the flip side of that is if we're not the target audience, then why does that matter as much? Why can't you be honest if what you're trying to do is attract a newer crowd that doesn't really have that much of a I guess
Star Wars has done it.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Mandalorian. They put out Bad Batch, Mandalorian.
Yeah, but there aren't any main characters in those stories that we're like if you say we're gonna reboot any Star Wars movie, right, and retell it, then you're not gonna get rid of any of those hard and fast characters, right?
Why not?
So you just not gonna have Luke in the story that retelling New Hope?
Does it make sense to put Luke in it? That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's now again, I'm not saying I understand what you're saying. But I guess what I'm saying is, like, you have to look at the context of time and the culture we're in and the environment.
Yeah.
the culture we're in now is nowhere. The 80s got some sick stuff off. Yeah. Like the movies that I watched in the 80s were vile sometimes. Like there was no business me watching, some of those movies. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, now we live in a culture where it's like they'll tell you like, hey, this is for adults. Like don't need to bring kids to the table, but people bring kids to the table anyway. But, but this is geared toward kids. I mean, it was there were some adult elements in it, I guess. Like when they went to hell and stuff like that, and but it was still kind of like scary characters, but they still were kind of talking in that kind of like childish, like give me your fear and
because admittedly, man, I don't get into cartoons even now. Like even the ones that are deemed to be some of the best out of the DC camp. There's only a handful of them that I've seen, just because I know that they are the pillars of that genre, right? Just because I just have this feeling that if I associate cartoon with children automatically.
But He-Man, you don't.
Well, this one was because I hadn't seen that. Anytime somebody reboots something that I liked a lot, I'm gonna give it a shot, right? I'm going to do it. There's so much to pick from in the DC camp, man. That oh my God, it's just it's the cup runneth over with that.
Right.
But when they're talking about rebooting these Thundercats and Silverhawks and all that, I'm pulling up the chair.
Right.
But at the same time, foolishly doing so, because at the end of the day,
you have to keep an open mind.
It's a cartoon. It's not going to be geared towards me. I went to see Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, just because of the style that animation that they used. Sorry, Ninja. And it was a new Spider-Man. It was the ethnic, as it were, Spider-Man. So for me, normally there have to be things in it that are compelling for me to give my time to a cartoon. And so this was an old property from my childhood. So let me see. So a part of me feels like I'm getting what I deserve in being disappointed with the fact that this is probably not for me. And what I expected, I didn't get.
I really feel like you're rushing to judgment.
And that could be true too. 5 episodes in, and we're estimating to be 15 if it is truly 3 parts. It would be 5 per.
Yeah, it would be fair if you watched the whole, like you watched all 15 and you were like, man, I don't like the way they did He-Man. Like, we would probably have to revisit this podcast.
I got Kal-El treatment vibes from this. You know what I'm saying? Diminishing who is, what is an integral property in Masters of the Universe. That's what I couldn't help but shake. That feeling I get when I watch DC neuter Superman at every turn.
I don't feel like they neutered He-Man.
Yeah, I mean, they murdered him twice.
Murdering and neuter, like you get what I'm saying? Where it wasn't
I don't know, man. When I say,
like with Superman, I get what you're saying with neuter, like for example,
Batman comes, stuff like this.
Batman comes in his house, his movie, and whoop him up, and then Superman is all emo.
He's neutered on television in that Crisis trash on C. But that's what I mean. I guess the kind of like 2 different meanings for neutered here. They didn't emasculate my man He-Man. He-Man went out like a G when he did go out.
Right.
But
for sure,
the fact that he went out, I guess, is what I mean by, you eliminated him, you removed him off, you took him off the board.
And also took Skeletor off the board. And then they reinserted Skeletor as a major threat.
Yeah.
He has the power.
Off with the sword.
He has a power, so like what about that doesn't makes you go, nah, I'm good?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I just, I mean.
Yeah, I was just sitting there with my arms folded, I guess. And typically, I enjoy the villain. I didn't enjoy the villain as much in this one just because he didn't have much of a role either until the end. So there wasn't much to enjoy of him. I felt like it was Joker cosplaying the Skeletor. I love Mark Hamill, but bruh, reach into your crate of other voices, bruh. But I found Evelyn very compelling. I did.
But the only way you would is if you took Skeletor off the board.
Skeletor off the board. That's correct.
So like,
well, really, do you really have to take Skeletor off the board to make her compelling?
You can write
in
anything.
The way they told that story.
Yes,
yes you do, because she had to. There was a vested interest between both.
Correct.
They all wanted magic. She cannot thrive without it. So if she got to lock arms with Tila and sing Kumbaya, then she'll do it, right? And then at the end she was like, well, bet that Skelly's back. Peace.
Right.
We're right on back. And so that right there was compelling enough because she did show
compassion.
Yes,
right.
and a heart and wanting to do the right thing, quote unquote, you know what I'm saying? But, for personal gain or whatever. But you didn't get that as it was going along. Even with all of them, like even Beastman was just like, look, I'm just loyal to the clique, So if Evelyn is doing it, then I'm doing it, and that was it. So, like I said, man, I feel like the story was as airtight as you can get for a He-Man-less He-Man show. So I didn't have a problem with the story.
And I actually give it points for taking He-Man off the board and still being a compelling story.
Right.
That was the other thing for me was like, you actually took the main character off the board and I was still interested.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was. Like when I got to the second episode, I was like, man, how are they going to do this?
Yeah.
And then when I started really, and I watched it a second time. I mean, it's 5 episodes, so you can watch it a second time. It's easy to watch, yeah. Right. And in a shorter episode. So I really appreciate I appreciate what Kevin Smith did here. And like, Mark Bernardin wrote like episode 3, the one with Merman and all of Merman.
Merman. At least they didn't have that brr voice. At least he wasn't talking like that. Hey, I hated that garbage.
Right.
Yeah, he was talking like.
But I like some of the funnier, like, they weren't meant to be. They were just unexpected funny moments where like Skeletor was like monologuing and Source was like just blasted that dude. Wow, like I thought that was funny. Again, my only 2 gripes about it was, and this is a minor gripe, but they tried to set the playing field where Orko, because He-Man made that sacrifice, that took all the magic away from Eternia, right?
Yes.
So that meant, I guess, in essence, that Orko was dying because he didn't have any magic to keep him alive, right? But then Evelyn came in and explained, well, I need magic too. Yeah. But she wasn't dying. Like, it was just kind of like, okay, well, how did you manage
reasons. Well, she wasn't like a magical being. She just needed that. See, she wasn't magical power, whereas this guy, his race is they are magic.
They forged the sword itself.
That's correct.
Right, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, the Trollins or whatever they're called. Yeah. Like, that's a life force to them, not to humans. Like, none of the other humans in Eternia were suffering as a result. Right. But that's almost like oxygen for that dude.
Right, and maybe because Skeletor, his essence was in her staff.
Yes.
Which is hilarious.
Yes, and it was like very little of it, Right. Whatever. I bought it.
Right.
So, like I said, man, story was solid, man. And it's hard to say that these days about a lot of stuff. I mean, Kevin Smith can get, he's getting beat up for a lot of stuff. The only thing I would call him out on,
he's written worse. Like, he would immediately tell you, like, he had a movie called Tusk.
What was that about?
I didn't even watch half of it. I mean, he sold me off. Basically, it was like,
be real.
Yeah, I don't know. It was. A movie called Yoga Hosers. It's like it's.
Well, hi.
Right. But again, like I've talked about, an artist has to express himself through art.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily have to be a consumer of that piece of art.
Right.
And that's the way I'm trying to approach things now.
I'm not on this, beat the hell out of Kevin Smith. I'm not on that train. Man.
Yeah, and he's getting a lot of
these people are being like
toxic.
ruthless, man. Like you don't like it. I didn't like the fact there wasn't no He-Man, but man, I wasn't. I ain't trying to attack him and call him, horrible names or vulgar names, dude. Like that we can't say on the podcast. I'm hearing these dudes like.
And he replied, he was like, "Grow the F up."
Yeah, I'm like, I'm unhappy too. But golly, man, I mean, they've done everything except go with his family.
Correct.
Like I'm like, okay, man.
But see, that, and we keep touching on this. Like, there's a toxic side to geek culture that needs to be addressed. Like, there's a lot of. There's a lot of unwarranted male energy out there. That I'll just say that. Yeah, and this is not me trying to be like, I'm a feminist now. Like, it's not that. It's just like,
it's just crazy dudes.
And this is what I was trying to.
Ain't women on the message boards wilding out.
But see, you got to think about it. Like, and Hattori said it on the podcast. It's like, okay, if things are changing, man, you got an eternity of old properties that you can just go back and watch. Go back and watch when they were being
Yeah.
Just don't watch
you didn't like it, go ahead and give it a thumbs down on Rotten Tomatoes and keep it moving, man.
Correct.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, grow up.
Yeah, don't attack, homie.
Right. But I guess what I'm saying is, like, I'm open to reinterpretations and telling a story, and I'm hoping, and again, I'll be honest with you, when I was a kid, I was into He-Man, but it didn't travel with me so much where I just know, like I knew, like, when the characters were reintroduced to me, I was like, oh, I remember him.
Yeah.
Orko, it's like, Orko you always remember. Yeah. You always remember He-Man and Tila.
But you wasn't remembering Stratos and Ram and
Triclops
and Trapjaw and right. Yeah.
The myriad of other characters. And I think that's what made Masters of the Universe, because they just made ridiculous toys. Like,
Roboto.
Right. Garbage Man. He's like Stinkor. His face was a skunk.
Fisto.
Right. Fisto. It's like. So,
that's borderline inappropriate.
Right. Fisto.
Oh, God. It's a family show.
Right. But.
Yes, dude. Corny, man, dude.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So that needs to get addressed, man. I'm tired of it, man. It's like,
Yeah, it's the internet, man. Like, it wasn't a thing,
right?
Like before, everybody got a platform.
It was there. It's just, it just has a bullhorn now.
Yeah, and it doesn't. I hate that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and like
it's like with the police brutality. Like, people are like, "Well, when did this become a thing?" Oh, it's always been there. It's been there from the beginning of time.
Now, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, black men.
That's how police got started.
Right.
It was chasing down runaway slaves and beating them and bringing them to justice, as it were. Yeah, that's what that was.
What was that? Birth of the Nation? Like that movie that came, that black and white movie where they were literally like,
we are the saviors.
Right.
No, bro.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying about entertainment. Like, there is a component where you have to be, and I'm not trying to reference this show, but I guess what I'm saying is, like, the folks that are up in arms is like, what are you up in arms about? And you spoke eloquently about why you felt up in arms about it. But there's just those people that are very adamant about attacking Kevin Smith. And his
I'm not
character.
trying to take his life, bro. Like,
right.
No, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't like it.
No. I'm just like, I wanted He-Man.
Right.
Didn't get
There's
it.
several movies and shows that I've watched and go, it just wasn't for me. Like, you don't even like Endgame. And I'm like, well, why, Wally? And then you explain why, but you keep it moving.
Keep it moving, yeah.
You don't ask for the Russo's hands on the table. Yeah, it's like, that doesn't.
No, because in the same dudes that gave me Civil War,
correct.
I don't have a bad word to say about them.
Even if they didn't, it doesn't matter.
No,
like,
it doesn't matter.
Entertainment and make believe.
That's correct.
Like, grow up.
That's
like,
correct. That's correct.
You had your day when you were a kid. Relish that. and just keep it moving.
And I think that's what I need to come to grips with when it comes to my like and dislike for a particular property, especially a cartoon.
It makes watching this stuff better.
Yeah, because they're not marketing to me, and I think I'm in that denial area still.
Exactly.
Like, I know Star Wars ain't for me no more. It's
not
evident the way they write that stuff.
You're not going to buy the action figures.
No,
even if you like the show, you're not buying action figures.
I'm not.
Me, on the other hand,
well, I mean,
I have a problem, buddy. You know, like I got Funkos and action figures all on the wall in the studio, but
but
I'm still not buying them like a kid is buying them.
Right,
like
because you'll buy that and you'll buy the ones that the kids can actually play
with,
except for the aside from the ones that you keep in a case here away from the
which
children.
Is a problem. Yes.
That's why you got to buy two.
Right.
Buy one for me and one for Kale. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is admittedly a problem that I have.
That's what the culture has a problem with that.
Yeah, I fly off the handle, but not to the point where I'm looking for death.
Correct.
And blood. I'm not looking for blood. I'm just looking for to have my childhood flame rekindled, and sometimes it doesn't happen in the form when these reboots come out. And I have to come to the reality and understanding that I don't think you can't go back, bro.
Right.
I don't think you can.
And here's my thing.
As much as I've been trying with Star Wars, with this, trying to think of other properties that they've rebooted, and I've just been like even Voltron, I couldn't get into it as much as I thought I would. So I gotta understand that, right? Like, this is it. I'm almost 50, bro. They ain't looking at me. I'm not in that Target demo.
And then also too, like, see, I started laughing at folks because it's like you just can't win because it's like, because we've got, I mean, even on our little text chain when people are like picking at stuff, it's like, man, like there might be a comment about like, say, like some character that nobody really cared about, like from the start. You know what I'm saying? Like we grew up on Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman for some people.
Yes.
There's that one hero. And I understand, like for example, the ninja loves Batman, right? That's his hero.
Yeah.
If you start messing with Batman, he's the first one to say something about it.
Right.
He has that right.
The sword is coming out.
Correct.
Yeah.
He has that right.
Yeah.
But if it's like, okay, man, they messed up,
go ahead and say it.
Spoiler or, like Batgirl, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, were you holding a torch for those characters? You know what I'm saying? Like,
are you referring to Taskmaster right now, or are you just randomly? Because I believe that was the stance you took for Taskmaster. We are derailing like a mug. We went from
no. I mean, I think it's relevant. Marvel. No, but I think it's relevant because I think people just hate just for hate's sake, and it's like, do you really care? Like, seriously though, like if you got your set of heroes, and if He-Man is your hero,
right?
If He-Man was the guy,
well, he was the center. He was the center of the reason why I watched the show.
But you watched several shows,
right? He was not my favorite, and let's get that out of the way,
right?
But I watched that show for that guy,
right?
And so when they rebooted, I'm thinking I'm going to see that guy.
I watched Silverhawks religiously, but ask me who the names of those characters are. I can't even remember. I just remember there was a cowboy looking one. I remember the leader. I remember the lady.
Bluegrass was the cow.
Bluegrass
was the cow. The guitar dude. And because he was so different, that's the only reason I remember his name. The show only ran one season. It didn't, Silverhawks, people talk about it, but it didn't go past this one season. So there's that. So yeah, I get it, but I think people still like I was saying. For me, I loved the Masters of the Universe show. I would not have been interested in it if He-Man was not like he was the show. And so in my mind, naturally, I'm gonna think that this is gonna be a He-Man show.
Yes,
erroneously,
right?
And to your point about the climate and things being changed and from a social perspective and things like that, I should have expected for there to be changes. We're used to
And not
having
necessarily
those changes announced, right? Like, oh, Starfire is going to be black.
Right.
You know,
and see there and
you know what I'm saying? And they announced that stuff.
And you bring up a good point.
Culture.
It sounds like we're derailing, but it's relevant to what's happening with this show.
Yeah.
Like when they announce, okay, this might be a bad example, but when they said J.J. Abrams and
Michael B. Jordan.
No. See, people started throwing Michael B. Jordan in that mix already.
Talking about the Superman.
Yeah, so when they were talking about Ta-Nehisi Coates
yes.
and J.J. Abrams was developing a Superman movie, that was the headline.
Yeah.
We are developing a Superman movie. Well, the Superman is black. And it's like, they didn't say that. They
did say black Superman.
Who said black Superman?
They said black Superman.
Who said black Superman?
In the article that I read.
Did J.J. Abrams say we're going to do a black Superman?
So you're saying that the writers of the article may have misled the people. Okay. I mean, if that's the case,
unless the source itself said, if Ta-Nehisi Coates said, yes, I am writing Superman as a black man.
Okay.
Then I would go, okay, wow, y'all are doing a black Superman.
Okay.
So like, there's that side of it.
Like
where
it was literally reported black Superman, even false or true. That's what was said. Okay.
Right. And they might have, and Warner Brothers might have been putting out a litmus test to go, hey,
put it out
let's see. Yes.
I don't care.
Black History Month.
I don't care.
It's Black History Month. Let's put Ta-Nehisi Coates out there, and that's our Black History Month moment.
Right.
We hired a writer to write Superman. Right. Yay. It's like, so there's, I think.
Black Superman is not a problem. Black Kal-El is a problem. That's a problem.
Yes, but see, the fervor on the internet has gotten to this point where it's like, I don't even know what movie they're writing now, because it's like, and now they say, Michael B. Jordan is doing a Val-Zod.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Val-Zod, I can that he exists. He's out there.
Right.
He's out there. Like even Nubia. There's an article about them, and this is from a comic perspective, not necessarily a movie, that they're going to showcase her, and they had some art out there, and it was pretty good looking. Like I'd be down for that.
Right.
I'd be down for her being introduced in the DCEU.
So bring it back to Masters of the Universe. Why are people so bent out of shape then? If they're if they happen to say, hey, let's focus on Teela for a little bit, or even if they do the whole series, like, is that a problem? Is it a problem to focus on Teela?
No, I guess
because I guess ultimately from my perspective is, if the arc is about Teela, right? Mm-hmm. And we're getting into story, not action. Mm-hmm. If the arc is about Teela, right? Mm-hmm. The other characters their arc is going to change based on her arc changing. So, like, I am curious how Prince Adam is going. I don't think Prince Adam is going to die. I'm curious how Prince Adam is going to change. Mm-hmm. I'm curious how, when they drop the secret to Teela, because that's pretty obvious that Man of Arms and the Sorceress were a thing.
Yeah.
And Teela is their daughter.
Yeah. And
the Sorceress keeps, and that was a. I like how they did it, but sometimes it kind of. I know they meant to be on the nose, but every time they would say, like, the Sorceress would say something, she's like, "Well, this is the last time I want to see," and she's like, "Why?" And then somebody goes, and then He-Man interrupts. "Oh, if I take this sword, if I can be the man right now and just cut all this stuff off, I don't hear what y'all saying. Kill that noise. Right. I'm He-Man." Yeah. So like I love that they were playing off of that a little bit. It was kind of they
some never tension. Revealed with him.
Right. So
I wouldn't be surprised if this is a way to get rid of that name. Like if he's reinvented and they call him something else, He-Man is really, really corny as far as the name is concerned. And in this climate, you don't really want to, there are people very sensitive about, that type of stuff.
Even on this, She-Ra.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah.
I mean, so, I don't know, man.
I'm
open to it. I'm open to it. And I think it took a minute to kind of like just kind of readjust. Mm-hmm. But I will say that I think what helped was I was not bringing. I think I'm learning to not bring baggage to the table.
Yeah.
Like I just go, okay, I just watch to be entertained.
Objectively, completely, yeah. Without expecting.
I can't do that with certain things like Matrix. Like that's gonna. When they come out with Matrix 4, I don't know how I'm gonna feel.
Yeah.
I have to learn to just go, okay. Like they just show.
I'm gonna have to stop watching stuff with expectations and hopes and things like that too. The reason that, like, I can come down off of my disdain for Masters of the Universe after having a conversation with you, and I think that's what.
And you have the right to your opinion. I'm not trying to convert you.
No, for real. Like in having the conversation, I can understand where my issues lie. Right? It's a lot of times it's about what I wanted to see and what I feel that someone was very disingenuous.
I'm guilty of it too.
So, and the reason that happens a lot, I think, on this podcast is that we literally refuse to talk about it before we sit down at the table. And so stuff comes out and minds are changed and points of view are exhibited, accepted, or rejected in real time. Like, this is like for real. So, every time we get to talk, we be like, oh, this podcast stuff, and then we stop talking.
Right.
So I can appreciate what you're saying, particularly regarding, I guess, those who are involved with running the show can't really disclose prior to it hitting.
That's just a bad business move.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
But then there's the conundrum. It's like, okay, it's not meant for these people we're trying to hide it from. So who cares, right? Like, who cares if old 50-year-old dude don't get He-Man? We want these kids, and they don't care. Right? If we think about if we universe, a story about Tila and He-Man and blah 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 and all this type of stuff, and what I'm saying?
Think about if the entertainment industry always catered to us, and I don't even know what they call. I guess they just call us Generation X or whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying is I have a feeling they have another name for us where it's like, okay, we got a this guy is over 40. He still goes to the comic book store.
Yeah.
He's not buying the toys for his kids. He's buying them for himself to put it on the shelf. You know what I'm saying? Like the adult geek. You know what I'm saying? Like, because this era we're in, they are marketing to us.
Yes,
for sure
they are.
And that's the conundrum, like you were saying. It's like they are definitely marketing to us, and they're making sure they're using us like cattle to bring us to the water.
I mean, but are we that high in percentage numbers to where you need to do that to and ultimately just let us down? You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm speaking to me. Like, I was let down on this Star Wars thing. Like, until The Mandalorian came out, man, I was just not feeling Star Wars. Since, New Hope and all that type of stuff.
But now Mandalorian
is
now, did Mandalorian restore your?
Oh man, I'm loving what they're doing on
with
Disney
Mandalorian,
Plus.
But you're not.
Yeah, I'm loving that.
Okay,
that movie stuff is terrible.
So are they winning?
Man, they're winning on TV. I mean, with the Book of Vet or whatever that thing is about to be called. What is it? Something like that?
Yeah.
I can't see that failing if they're, if the people responsible for the Mandalorian and then with the introduction of Ahsoka, they got something pretty solid on television. I won't go see a movie
but it takes
these movies are awful.
It takes something to happen.
Like, how'd they manage to do that? Like, they hit on the right formula in Star Wars. They gave us what we built the universe.
They just built the universe, and then they just sprinkled what. Basically, all they're doing now, all the entertainment industry is doing now, is trying to figure out that nostalgia machine, which lever to push to go. Yeah, that'll get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll get them.
Yeah.
Like, and all they have to do is just pull it.
Right. And we'll be there. And then if you
and
like it, it's a bonus.
That.
And if you don't, we trying to sell these.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't mind being a pawn in that game.
Right, because that's what you feel. That's a perfect way to put it.
I don't mind.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I have a problem with. I'm being used. And then I get in there and it's like, this wasn't for me.
But then
you just showed me a He-Man fight.
Right, but the thing is, if they gave you something totally original, then you'd be like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
But the millennial does, because they're like, this is original.
This is dope.
Yeah. This is Matrix to me.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So
just get them in the door, right? Just get them in the door.
Yeah. But also just understanding your place in it and just go,
I need to just understand my place. I'm just being you.
I mean, same with me.
Come on
in
here, old man. I guess like this.
I don't know if it's like that, but I guess what I'm saying is just being spatially aware of, like, what they're doing. And if they bring you to the table, yes, they need to keep you, and that's what makes a story more powerful, where it's like, yeah, Mandalorian, they kept you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they led you to a place you didn't think was going to happen. You're like, what? Luke Skywalker, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, but they had to bring you along for that ride.
It's crazy though.
They didn't promise that to you. They didn't say, "Well, we're gonna bring Luke Skywalker."
No, they did not. But I went in with the same high expectations, even after all the Star Wars failures in the movies, that I had for He-Man. Masters of the Universe Revelation.
Uh-huh.
And the difference is they made good on it. I mean, that they had me. There may have been like maybe one episode I didn't enjoy, but for the most part, man, they had me. And then that second season, like you said, they really brought it home. So maybe it's just gonna take a little bit more time. I was locked in on Mandalorian after episode 1, right? Like that season 1. Like, man, this is it.
But I mean, to wrap up, like, Masters of the Universe, it's still early.
It's early, it's only 2 hours worth of footage, right? Like,
you would have thought that the season was only 5 episodes based on what people are like.
That's true. That's true.
I'm mad. It's like,
where he man at?
Yeah. Right. So I don't know.
Give us your opinions. We know you got them because we see those of those of us just like you out here on the Rotten Tomatoes. Giving all their anger laced reviews,
right?
Me included. But like I said, after having had this conversation on the podcast with the gatekeeper of civility and order, as he has done tonight, he's been the gatekeeper of civility and said order. Man, you've been on a roll lately, man. You've been on a roll and allowing me to see. The air. Now, that's not to say I still didn't enjoy it. I didn't. There was no heat. But I can appreciate what you're saying.
Right.
I can probably.
And I'm also aware of the environment. If the ninja was here, and you two were just like, I can't. It's a doppelganger of hate that I can't sway.
I don't know, man.
Like when we talked about, I won't rehash, but
okay.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know what you're saying.
I think it's easier when it's just two.
1v1.
Yes. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but if there's two people that are hating, 2 against 1, it's I had to be a LeBron James of this to even. Or maybe the Giannis of
yes, sir.
Giannis.
Yes. But give us your thoughts, man. Thank you to all those who listen, whether it be on patreon.com/EST1982 podcast for listening and supporting with your dollar and your time. And those of you listen on any other outlet, wherever you get your podcast, we are there. Thank you for listening there. We know you have some opinions about this. We've seen it. I've seen it on a number of groups that I'm a part of in Facebook, the Netflix groups and, other kind of TV groups. Mm-hmm. And I've seen everything from this is excellent, this is great, this is some garbage, what I'm saying? It's all over the place. What we didn't address is the wide disparity between critic and fan on this He-Man. This Masters of the Universe. The disparity is so wide, and usually the most trustworthy metric on on Rotten Tomatoes is indeed the fan reaction, the audience reaction. I don't care about what people who are paid to watch movies have to say about anything. Mm-hmm. I prefer fandom stuff. So that's also disconcerting when you see such low scores from the fan base. That so many of us are impatient like me. You know what I'm saying?
That's internet stuff, though.
That's true, but
because the people that like it, they're not getting on Rotten Tomatoes trying to bring the score down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you know, so it's like,
that's crazy stuff.
Yeah, I don't like. Sometimes Rotten Tomatoes ain't a good gauge. Sometimes, unless it's like
imperfect.
Unless the people and the critics don't like it, then it's like,
that's accurate. That might be the best if they both like it or they both hate it. But if there's a split,
I guarantee that there's a campaign going.
Yeah, the middle. That means it's around a 70 or something.
Right.
Okay,
there's probably a group.
There's
probably a group of chauvinistic guys are like, you know, I don't like this Tila stinking up my show. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but we want to hear from those who are a little less angry and bent on murder to respond to us out here on Facebook and Instagram, man. EST 1982 podcast on both. Hit us up. We thank you again for your patronage and your listenership. I made up a word. We thank you for it.
Yes.
And then just let us know what you think, and you know, we will respond, because you know it's always a lively conversation. So until next time, people, we will holler at you.
Breeze.